Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, and hello. This is Darshan Kaur, your Parikrama host, and I'm here today with a very informative podcast for you. Informative, why? Well, keep watching and you will find out. With me in the studio today is Mr. Rakesh Sharma, who is a franchise consultant. What does a franchise consultant do? What does it mean for you? Let's go and find out from the man himself. Welcome, Mr. Sharma. You are a franchise consultant, like you mentioned. So the first question that is in my mind, and that is in the mind of all our viewers, I'm sure, is what is a franchise consultant? What is it that they do?
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for introducing me. That was an amazing introduction. Too good, I'm sure. So here's what I do. If you've obviously, all of us have used a realtor in our time, either to buy a house or to sell a house. And the realtor really is the middle person between the buyer and the seller. And that's really what we do. What I do as a franchise consultant and the other 150 consultants we have in our company. We help people find the right business for them. We work with the franchisors to find them the right people. So really, we're like a realtor in between. Simple as that.
Okay, that is a short and sweet explanation of what you do. So, okay, so I get it. So if I need to buy a house, I use a real estate agent. If I need to get into the franchise business, I get a franchise consultant. Perfect, makes sense. Now, suppose I was interested in buying a franchise. What do I need? Do I need to have special qualifications? What is it that I need to have in order to, buy a franchise, for example?
Well, absolutely not. I mean, number one, you need to come to our franchise show in Atlanta at the gallery, Cobb Galleria, I think it's called, on the 14th and 15th of May, and you're going to learn all you need to learn. It's absolutely free. There's not many things free in life anymore, but that's free. And you're going to meet with all the experts there and learn as much as you want. So going back to your question, ma'am, what qualities or background or licenses or anything that you don't need any licenses. You've just got to be a person who's got a passion to be your own boss one day. We all have dreams. And if that's your dream, we can help you with that dream. Obviously, you've got to be business minded. You've got to have the right background. You've got to be positive about things. This is what I'd do if I was a business owner. Because business is like life. It's up and down. You've got to be prepared for the ups and downs. They come and they go. But we always come out on top at the end. So you don't need to be an expert in the industry that you choose. So say, for example, you've always been a secretary in an office, a high-ranking secretary. You don't need to be an expert if you want to go and buy, let's say, a waste management services business. The franchisor will teach you everything from A to Z. There'll be nothing left short because it's in the interest of the franchisor to make sure you're successful. If you succeed, they succeed. And if they succeed, you succeed. So franchising is a really simple formula for success. For the right person with the right mindset, and of course the right amount of money. I'd also say you have to be a good people's person. You've got to be able to sell to some degree. You don't have to be a hard salesperson, but definitely in terms of customer service, give fantastic customer service. That's what gets any of us to go back to any restaurant or business time and time and time again. And the most important thing in a franchise, difference between that and any other business is you must be able to follow the franchise concept. They have got this concept down to a fine art, and do not think that you can adopt it, change it, slash it. You can't do that. in the main, you've got to stick to that because it's already proven to be successful with many other franchisees throughout the country, throughout the world. You look at McDonald's, they stick to one thing and it works. So why change it? So if it ain't broken, don't change it. So that really is all you need. You don't need any specific qualifications, licenses, anything like that. Just you and a good you, positive you.
Perfect. So you need somebody with the aptitude, right? Somebody who wants to maybe either, invest outside of what they do, and that brings me to a very interesting question because mostly people, as we've seen, and a lot of people in IT or in other areas, like, when they have money and they want to invest, they usually will become like a restaurant owner. Like that's a most typical thing that we've seen. Some will go and buy, go get in the hospitality industry or something. But I believe that what you were just mentioning offers a wide variety. So it expands the portfolio of what any person could invest in as a franchise, right? So can you tell me about the industries, the different industries that you, as a consultant, offer for people who are interested?
Okay, that's a great question. Uh, we represent over 400 plus emerging brand franchisors. Now, these are people, that's a proven concept. They've probably got 10, 15 years behind them. They start in their own business or concept, that becomes a success. And they think, well, I don't want to do this all by myself, but I can expand. I want to go around the country. Everyone wants to be the next Microsoft, right? And I want to develop and expand this, but I can't do it myself. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the manpower. So how do I do this? They come to us. We have another section in our company where we help people like that franchise their business and expand it out to other people that are interested in doing that business as well. Now, coming back to your question about, and you're absolutely right. If you say to anyone on the street, name a franchise, I guarantee the first name probably would be McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Panera Bread, those sort of names. And they're all food brands, you'll notice. Now, you're absolutely right, man. We do a lot more than food. Food is one of our industries. Obviously, it's a very big industry. So we represent fast food casual, we call them. Not necessarily sit down, more about, and by the way, we're looking out for an Indian Indian food franchise that can be franchised. Okay. So, in addition to that, we do mobile medical supplies. I'm just naming a few. We do fitness, gyms, boxing, that kind of thing, health and beauty, spas. We do internet marketing services, cleaning services, home services, very popular right now with people staying at home. Gutters, custom window treatments like the ones behind me. There's tons. I can't even remember all of them, but they're absolutely ginormous. We do educational uh, for young people, very young people, all the way up, specifying or specifically for in computers, because there's going to be a shortage of enough people that are working in computers because they don't teach it at school anymore or ever. So there are people that are talented, especially our people, Indian people, and they're the ones that are going to be ideal for that job. So does that give you a good idea?
It does. I mean, it surprised me because, like I said, like any other layman, laywoman,
Right.
layperson, I only thought that when we talk about franchises, I only thought, food industry and maybe to some extent, I had heard of H&R blocks, like the tax
Uh-huh.
services kind of stuff. I had not really thought about all these other industries that you mentioned. So I think that kind of surprised me a bit, right? Because when we think of franchises, we don't think about all that. So definitely expanding the portfolio a lot, right? So when
Oh,
you mentioned, you answered one of my questions. You mentioned your expo, right? So, and you mentioned it's in May, middle of May, here, right here in Atlanta, in Cobb Galleria. So, so why should just you know, you mentioned the expo. Well, why should people come and attend your expo? What is so special about it? What is going to happen over there?
Okay. Apart from the fact that we're going to have franchise consultants there from the FCC, we've also, you get a chance to meet the franchisors. Now, obviously, we don't have all 400 plus franchisors there because they do different shows. We do 12 different shows throughout the year around the country, Houston, Dallas, Orlando, that kind of stuff. So you probably get about 50 to 70 franchisors at Atlanta because that's a big show for us. And you get a chance to speak to the senior management. Sometimes the originator is there, and other times certainly the senior manager or someone who's able to explain to you what they're all about, what it costs, how long it takes them, that kind of stuff. And of course, we've got FCC franchise consultants roaming around all the time to help people. We have our own staff of about 10 to 12 people there at every show because we run those shows. So, and when you come there, you're going to find out, in addition to that, you're going to find out about if you have funding needs. You know, you've got some cash, but you haven't got quite enough to maybe invest in a franchise, and you know, you've got IRAs, you've got pension funds. You want to find ways of getting some money out of that and putting it into your business for your future. We've got funding experts there. There's at least 1 to 2 companies at every show that we hold. And then, of course, you have, there's one important one, which I should mention up front, really. We hold seminars, educational seminars, where in with Atlanta, we get professional experts in their field, like a funding expert, like an immigration attorney, for people that have overseas relatives that want to come and live in the work in the USA. They can come here on an E2 visa or an EB5 visa. So we have immigration attorneys there. I myself am an E2 visa, so I fully understand that. And I'm also a franchisee with a major blinds company. But this would really appeal to everyone. For this show, for the very first time in the history of FCC, which has been going 10 years, I think, we are doing something really special for all of your listeners. For the Atlanta show, anyone that visits the store, there's only 2 simple conditions. Anyone who visits the store, takes an interest in a franchise, and then in the next 4 months, 120 days, buys a franchise from that franchisor, whoever it is, we will contribute $2,500 from our pockets to the purchase of that franchise. So that's a heck of a reason for someone to come. And by the way, it's not limited to 1 person, 2 person. There's no raffle. Everyone qualifies. So you find what you're looking for. We'll help you do that. We'll educate you on how to do that and any help that you need. And then you go and buy it, and then we give you money on top of that. Can't get any better.
I agree now, and I'm like thinking, what more reason do you need to go
Right.
attend, right, and go buy a franchise? Well, this
Sure.
seems like a one-stop shop. It seems very useful for anyone who has the aptitude, like we said before, and might be interested. And there is a vast portfolio, like we just talked about, in terms of the kind of industries, right, that we could franchise with. And then on top of that, you have all these consultants. I think it's a one-stop shop. If anyone's, if anyone wants to become like a business owner, there you go. You just have one-stop shop to go and find out everything there is to know about it,
No,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. Because it's, you mentioned earlier, thank you, ma'am, it's a free entry. All you have to do is register with the information that you guys have been sending out. And you can go onto our website at fcc.com, the franchise consulting company.com. And there's just click on it, register. And when you turn up at the show, which is on Saturday, the 14th, between 11 o'clock in the morning and 5 in the evening. And Sunday the 15th is 11 in the morning to 4. All you have to do is register. You come up to the front desk, they'll click you in, and you're in. It's absolutely free. Normally we charge $29 for entry, but none of that. And basically, you learn all as much as you possibly can. You can stay there all 5 hours, come back the next day with the same registration, and learn as much as you want. Talk to as many people as you want. It's a free education lesson. Couldn't be any better than that. This is better than even, people look online. Frankly, you don't find much online. And try talking to, because the other thing people think of when you talk about a franchise, I want to buy a franchise, they think about McDonald's, Burger King, what's the other one, Taco Bell. Guess what? Try getting through on the phone to one of those people and see if you get a phone call back. And, here we are not talking about millions and millions of dollars. You can start a good franchise, and I mean a good one, and we only deal with good ones, by the way. It's going to cost you somewhere in the region initially of about 100,000 to 150,000, which is about a third of the price of a normal home in Orlando, I can tell you that. So it's a great investment, or a chance to look at an investment, and your returns will come in all the industries. These are emerging brands in all these industries. They've invested hundreds of thousands of, I'm talking about the franchisors, sorry, of their money in technology, in systems, in improvement to make sure that they can compete. Like if you take food, you can't beat Taco Bell for what they are. But guess what? We've got alternatives. People are tired of Taco Bell. They're tired of McDonald's. They're tired of Burger King. And these guys give alternatives. We've got food vans that are franchises, really good franchises. So you're going to be able to go in with something really different, and it's going to change your life, obviously. If you haven't been a business owner and this is the first time, obviously that's a change. But if you have been a business owner, we also appeal, we get a lot of investors who are very successful business owners or doctors, dentists, whatever, high earning people that want to invest and diversify their business interest. And we can help them do that. You don't have to buy just one territory. You can buy the whole of Atlanta and say, I want to do this concept, this restaurant throughout Atlanta. So no one else can open there. So a lot of people do that.
So you kind of preempted my next question, because I was wondering how much does it cost, right? And you mentioned somewhere between 100 and 150,000 is
Right.
investment. How long does it take to set up a franchise? That would be another question that our viewers would be interested in.
Okay. One thing I should mention about a franchise business, which I forgot earlier, I apologize. A franchise business is really about being in a business, but not by yourself. You are in it with the franchisor is 150% behind you. He wants you to succeed because that's how he succeeds. And then the more franchisors, take Atlanta as an example, you open in Dunwoody, and I don't know the next town. I was just trying to be clever.
Alpharetta, that's where I live.
Alpharetta. So Alpharetta's next door. And say, for example, you want to open one in Alpharetta. Guess what? We help each other. The more people see, ABC Indian franchise, the more there are. That's how McDonald's work or any of the big boys. So, so really, you're in business. You're in a very good business, but you are not by yourself for 1 minute. You get all the training, you get all the backup. You can call up the franchise anytime, and they'll assist you. So, sorry, I've forgotten your question.
No, the question was, how long does it take? So we mentioned how much does it cost? You kind of mentioned that, but how long does it take to set up a franchise?
Okay, well, this is the way we work, okay? There's a procedure to it, because basically the franchisor is employing us. We get paid a commission at the end, should you, as a prospect, decide to go with that franchisor, okay? We know what they're looking for. in terms of the quality of person, the amount of money they've got, how long it's going to take to get going, all that kind of stuff, okay? Of all 400 plus brands. What we need to do is to find, like a realtor, is to find the person from, you're selling the house, I've got to find the person who's going to buy it. So coming back to that example again. So what I do is, I do an initial call with my prospective client, and I talk to them for 15, 20 minutes, find out more about them and what their likes, dislikes are, what they've done business-wise, their experience. For example, if someone's come to me and he says, I really don't like getting on with people. I hate getting on with people. I want to be by myself. And he wants to be a restaurant owner. I said, sir, that's not going to work for you, right? I think we should be looking at something else. Just a stupid example, but that's what happens. So I do that, and they also have a chance to find out about me. And by the way, I don't charge a single cent for finding them the right business, nor is there any contract involved. And you can cut me off at any time if you want to, okay? So that's another freebie. So then I call them back again a week later, maybe, and I'll send them what I call a confidential questionnaire, which gives more depth on what we had in the first conversation. And then we'll talk, that's when we start talking about brands and industries. And I'll throw 2 or 3 things at them based on, now I know quite a bit about them, and they definitely know what I can do for them, the prospect. And then once we start narrowing it down, we eventually get it down to 1 or 2. Over time period is going to take about 3 to 4 months from start to finish. Because then after I found them the brand, I pass them over to the franchisor, because ultimately the relationship is going to be there between the franchisee and the franchisor. And both of them are going to like each other and get on with each other. And once they decide to go ahead, then we go to what we call validation, and I help the prospect to make sure what the franchisor has told us is right, what the competition is in that area. It says the retail store, the restaurant. We go and check it out. Who else is doing that? How much are they selling? Whatever they're selling for, all that kind of stuff. And some people come to us absolutely green, and they don't know anything about business. So we help them all the way from bottom to up. And we want them to be successful as well, obviously, because that's someone's hard-earned money. So yeah, 3 to 4 months, and then after the validation, I advocate going to a franchise attorney to make sure whatever the franchise agreement is, because that's always going to be written in the favor of the franchisor, like you would in a house. Check the contract, and then get a franchise attorney to do that. And once that's happened, and you're all set to go, you've just got to pay the franchisor the money, and you're all set to go. They'll arrange for you to open the doors.
You mentioned about the expo that you do this throughout the year in different cities, right? So can you tell us about what other cities? Because as I was listening to you, I was thinking, hey, we have the one on 14th and 15th here in Atlanta, but there may be people watching from other cities in the US, and they'd be interested to know if your expo is coming anywhere near their city.
Sure, and we'd love to have all of you there. And if you don't come to us, we'll come to you. I guarantee. Okay. So we do the major cities, mainly along the central East Coast, okay, of America. So this year already we've done Houston, Dallas, Orlando, Tampa, Miami. You guys in Atlanta now, and then we'll be coming back around. We're going to Charlotte next, and then in about 2 weeks' time. And then we stop for about a month and a half, because people are on summer break and stuff. Then we start again in the fall, sorry. And then we're going to New Jersey, Washington, D.C., and then back to Houston, Dallas, Austin, and then back again next spring. So we do at least 12 of those in a year, every 2 to 3 weeks, in the spring and then the summer as well, as fall, sorry.
Right. So then I think this is my last question probably, but it's two questions. One, if some city people are watching and you didn't mention their city and they're saying, hey, we want this expo to come to our city, how do they go about doing that? And then also related to that is how do people find out more information about this if they need to?
Okay, that's really simple. Basically, they can contact us directly at the franchiseconsultingcompany.com or the Great American Franchise Expo, that's a bit longer.com. The Great Franchise Exhibition Expo, .com. And everything's listed there. Or failing that, come along and just look on your post, and there are links at the bottom there. And you have to go onto your computer and just look up. I don't remember all of them. I'm sorry. But yeah, in terms of coming to, obviously, we're going to go to the bigger markets that have big convention centers, which can hold a lot of people. We normally get Atlanta, we're expecting about 1,000 people over the 2 days. Orlando, we had 500 just gone. Tampa wasn't as busy. I think it was the time of year, it was a spring break as well. We need to think about that timing. But yeah, if you need any more information, you can contact me directly. And all of us are at, my name is, my name's Rakesh, they call me Rak, R-A-K. Actually, they call me Rock. Anyway, it's R-A-K at thefranchiseconsultingcompany.com. And you can email me on that. I'll happily respond to that.
And we'll actually take these links from Mr. Drag and then post them along with this podcast so that you find that our viewers find it easy to find that information.
Sure.
We'll add on those links as well, so it helps our viewers. Thank you for all this information. I think there's so many things that kind of surprised me that I did not know about this whole industry. And I did not even know there was somebody called a franchise consultant, to be honest with you. So this was very useful information indeed. So we really thank you for your time, Mr. Sharma. And I hope that all our viewers who are watching will take this opportunity to go attend the expo in Atlanta on May 14th and 15th. And that you will also share the information with other friends and family in other cities so that they can take advantage of the expo in their respective cities as well. So thank you again, Mr. Sharma. And thank you, our viewers, for watching this. I hope you did find this information useful and very informative, and that you will keep watching our podcasts in the future. Do let us know in comments if you like this podcast. And of course, you are very welcome to like and share with all your other friends as well. So with that, this is Darshan Kaur, your Parikrama host, signing off for today. I will see you soon with yet another fun podcast. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.